The sun rises over a Southern California avocado grove, casting a golden glow across endless rows of avocado trees. For generations, these groves have been a symbol of hope, hard work, and the promise of prosperity for countless families. The land itself seems to breathe with the dreams of those who tend it, each tree representing years of dedication and care. Avocados, often called green gold, have long been a source of pride and economic stability for California farmers. Their rich, creamy fruit is celebrated around the world, and the sight of healthy, sun-dappled trees has always meant a good season ahead. But today, a heavy sense of anxiety hangs in the air. Farmers walk their groves with furrowed brows, their minds racing with questions and concerns about the future. The familiar comfort of the land is now shadowed by uncertainty. The source of their worry is invisible. Cadmium, a naturally occurring metal, has been detected in the soil, and, more alarmingly, in the fruit itself. This discovery has sent shockwaves through the farming community, as many had never even heard of cadmium before. Shipments destined for lucrative overseas markets, especially in Asia, and most notably Taiwan, are now being rejected at the border. Food safety concerns have led to stricter regulations, and entire truckloads of avocados are being turned away. For farmers who have poured their lives into growing the best avocados possible, these rejections are both baffling and deeply frustrating. They take pride in their fruit, and the idea that something beyond their control could threaten their livelihood is hard to accept. The rejection letters cite cadmium levels that exceed new international standards. For many, this is an entirely new challenge, one that feels overwhelming and unfair, since cadmium is a natural part of the region's soil. Farming has always been unpredictable, with weather, pests, and market prices constantly shifting. But now, international regulations and scientific discoveries add a new layer of instability, making it even harder to plan for the future. Farmers feel powerless in the face of these changes. They can't simply change the soil's natural composition, and many worry that no amount of hard work or innovation will be enough to overcome this invisible threat. Conversations in local coffee shops and at kitchen tables now revolve around rejected shipments, mounting financial losses, and the uncertainty of what comes next. The sense of community is strong, but so is the shared anxiety. For many, the American dream has always been rooted in this soil. Generations have built their lives and legacies here, believing that hard work would always yield rewards. Now, that dream feels threatened in ways they never imagined. The green gold they once cultivated with pride has lost some of its luster. Each harvest brings more questions than answers, and the future of California's avocado farms hangs in the balance. As they look out over their groves, farmers can't help but wonder if the very soil that once promised prosperity now holds the seeds of a crisis they never saw coming. In the spring of 2025, a significant event unfolded in the world of international agriculture and trade. Taiwan, a major importer of fresh produce, made headlines when it blocked shipments of avocados arriving from the United States. This decision sent shockwaves through both the agricultural and business communities, as the U.S. had been working hard to expand its avocado exports to Asia, with Taiwan seen as a key market for growth. The reason for the rejection was rooted in food safety concerns. Taiwanese authorities discovered that the cadmium levels in the imported avocados exceeded their strict national limits. Cadmium is a heavy metal that, in high concentrations, can pose health risks to consumers, and Taiwan enforces some of the toughest standards in the region. While the detected cadmium levels were relatively small, they were still considered significant from a food safety perspective. Even trace amounts can be enough to trigger regulatory action, especially in countries with a strong focus on consumer protection. For U.S. exporters, this was a major setback. Many had invested heavily in meeting international standards and building relationships with Asian buyers, only to see their shipments halted at the border. The Asian market, and Taiwan in particular, represents a lucrative opportunity for American avocado growers. In response, Taiwan ramped up its inspection protocols, making it even more challenging for foreign exporters to access the market. These heightened checks created new trade barriers, increasing costs and uncertainty for exporters. This situation is not entirely unprecedented. In previous years, similar issues have arisen, with shipments being rejected due to pesticide residues or other contaminants. Each incident has reinforced Taiwan's commitment to strict food safety enforcement. The consequences for exporters are severe. Rejected avocados are often destroyed, or, in some cases, re-exported to other countries, resulting in significant financial losses and wasted resources. Taiwan's message to global suppliers is clear: meet our food safety standards or risk losing access to our market. This stance is intended to protect consumers, but it also puts pressure on exporters to adapt quickly. For California, which produces about 90% of all U.S. avocados, the implications are especially alarming. Many farmers and exporters now face uncertainty about the future of their business in the Asian market. As the industry looks for solutions, building trust and ensuring compliance with Taiwan's regulations will be crucial for regaining access and securing the future of U.S. avocado exports in Asia. Cadmium is a naturally occurring element, classified as a heavy metal, and is represented by the symbol CD on the periodic table. It has a silvery white appearance and is soft enough to be cut with a knife. Cadmium is not found in its pure form in nature, but rather as part of mineral deposits, often alongside zinc, lead, and copper ores. It is present in small amounts throughout the Earth's crust, and mining activities for other metals often bring cadmium to the surface. These geological processes mean that cadmium can be found in rocks, soils, and even in some bodies of water. Cadmium can enter the environment through both natural events, like volcanic eruptions and weathering of rocks, and through human activities, such as mining, metal, refining, and the burning of fossil fuels. Industrial processes can release cadmium into the air, water, and soil, increasing its concentration in certain areas. Once in the soil, cadmium can be taken up by the roots of plants. Over time, it accumulates in plant tissues, especially in leafy vegetables and crops that are grown in cadmium-rich soils. This process is called bioaccumulation, and it means that cadmium can move up the food chain. Avocado trees, like many other crops, can absorb cadmium from the soil. This is particularly true in regions where the soil naturally contains higher levels of cadmium, such as certain parts of California and South America. The amount absorbed depends on the soil composition, water, and farming practices. Cadmium is considered highly toxic to humans and animals, even at low concentrations. The World Health Organization classifies cadmium as a carcinogen, meaning it can cause cancer. It is also known to be harmful to many organs in the body. Chronic exposure to cadmium, often through contaminated food or water, can lead to serious health problems. The kidneys are especially vulnerable, and long-term exposure can result in kidney damage, weakened bones, and an increased risk of fractures. Other symptoms may include fatigue and high blood pressure. In California, the unique geology and mineral composition of the land contribute to the presence of cadmium in the soil. This means that avocados grown in these regions may naturally contain trace amounts of cadmium, even if the land is farmed responsibly. Importantly, the presence of cadmium in these avocados is not due to industrial pollution or poor farming practices, but rather the natural characteristics of the soil itself. Farmers often test their soil and crops to ensure safety. The issue becomes complicated when international safety standards for cadmium in food differ from country to country. This can lead to trade disputes and confusion for consumers, as what is considered safe in one country may not meet the regulations of another. The trade dispute stems from differing cadmium safety standards. Taiwan's limit is stricter than other international bodies. Their stance is influenced by past cadmium issues in rice. This creates challenges for global food producers. U.S. avocados may be safe domestically but not in Taiwan. Varying standards create trade barriers and uncertainty. Nations have the right to set their own food safety laws. The avocado dispute highlights the tension between trade and public health. California's avocado industry argues the cadmium issue is misunderstood. The cadmium is due to natural geology, not contamination. The CAC disputes any health risk from their avocados. WHO's intake levels suggest negligible risk from consumption. Taiwan's rejection is seen as an overreaction. The focus should be on total dietary intake, not single items. The CAC faces a challenge in negotiating with Taiwan. They aim to reassure consumers and find a path forward. Changing soil composition isn't feasible, but dialogue is key. Taiwan's rejections hit growers financially. Rejected shipments mean complete loss of investment. The chilling effect impacts the entire export market. Other importers may hesitate to buy U.S. avocados. Testing every avocado for cadmium is impractical. Farmers face a standard that's hard to guarantee. The issue adds pressure to already challenging conditions. The industry must focus on diplomacy and public relations. More countries adopting strict standards could shrink the market. Family farms face threats to their long-term viability. While U.S. growers face challenges, Mexico thrives. Mexico's avocado industry is expanding globally. They navigate regulations successfully. Unlike California, Mexico's production scale and soil conditions give them an edge. They meet international standards, gaining market trust. Mexico signs new trade deals, expanding their reach. Their success highlights the importance of regulatory compliance. U.S. farmers must reconcile natural conditions with global standards. The path forward involves defending product safety. Navigating international expectations is crucial for success.